You are connected. Error. Error. You are connected. Error.
Welcome to Lockdown Knockout live archery whilst maintaining social distancing. We are embracing the new normal. We started with 8 athletes from all over the globe in this straight knockout tournament. Norway's Anders Faugstad and Mike Schlosser from the Netherlands are already through, and today we start the women's side of the draw. I'm Karen Bashir, and it's my pleasure to take you through this rather unique international archery tournament. Joining me is World Archery's Chris Wells. Chris, good afternoon. It's been a great start to the tournament. How's the feedback been?
Yeah, thanks, Karen. The feedback has been largely positive. Obviously, we'd all rather be competing outdoors. But given the situation, I'm really excited about the doors this concept has opened and where it might lead in the future.
Yeah, changing times today. I saw the news about one of reportedly the world's oldest tournaments having been cancelled as a result of this global pandemic. But it's great to be bringing the newest international live tournament in this lockdown knockout live. Chris, a lot's been going on behind the scenes to make this happen. Perhaps you could share that with our audience.
Yeah, it's not an easy technological feat at all. We've got 4 live staff and cameras coming from all over the globe, but we're asking a lot of the technology. We're also asking a lot of the archers. At least one of our shooters today had to wake up at about 6 a.m. and I know how painful that is.
Well, it's about time, I suppose, we introduced our athletes. First up, it's the 25-year-old world number 3, live from the USA. Last year, she claimed the silver medal at the 2019 Hyundai Archery World Championships. It is, of course, Paige Pearce. Good morning, Paige. How are you? I'm struggling to hear you from sound, but I think you said you're okay. Listen, yesterday we had Dom Buden shooting from inside his garage and Mike Schlosser shooting outside in windy conditions. But we've got a first with you today. Where are you?
I'm actually shooting in my kitchen down my hallway.
Fantastic. Conditions breezy there, or you got a nice no wind range going on?
Definitely a no wind range. I live on a big hill, so shooting outside would have been like a tornado.
Yeah, look, last year you won the World Indoor Series. Does that make you a little bit of a favourite for this tournament?
Honestly, I was having a really good indoor season before the coronavirus put us on lockdown, but I think all of us have kind of taken a little bit of a break since that happened, so at this point, it's anybody's game.
Certainly is. Well, listen, we wish you the very best of luck for the tournament. Let's take a look at who you're facing. Well, Paige is facing another archer, also live from the USA. She claimed the silver medal at the 2018 Hyundai World Cup finals last year. It's Linda Ochoa-Anderson. Good morning to you, Linda. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Fabulous. Glad that I can hear you. That's a good start. Listen, your husband shot in this tournament a couple of days ago. That's given you a little bit of an advantage, hasn't it? How's your preparation been going?
Well, actually, I've been shooting outside just because we can shoot 50 meters here outside in the house. And I'm not a big fan of indoors. So by Vegas, I just want to shoot outside. After Vegas, I want to shoot outside. So I was taking advantage of that. I'm not a big fan of cold weather. I'm from Mexico. I grew up shooting outside all year long. So I've been shooting outside, but for this, I'll go anywhere. I'll shoot anywhere just to shoot a tournament again.
Yeah, it's absolutely fabulous to have live archery back on our screens. You mentioned you're from Mexico, but you've changed allegiances recently across to the USA. How frustrating has it been for you not to get out and put on the USA shirt for the very first time in international tournament?
I mean, I try to take it the best way possible. Just stay positive. I was really excited to shoot for the U.S. I'm proud to be born in Mexico. In Mexico, I represented Mexico for like 20 years. But when I won my spot for the U.S. team, I was really excited to shoot with the U.S. team. But I'll have to wait.
Yeah, we'll all have to wait, but we don't have to wait long to see you shooting in tournament archery because we're going to see you very shortly. Best of luck to you as well.
Thank you.
Well, as our two archers get ready, let's have a look at the draw. As I said, the men's side of the draw is already complete. Anders Falkstad came through against Steve Anderson. And as you can see there, Mike Schlusser came through a fabulous match with Dom Buden from Croatia yesterday. We switch over to the right-hand side of the draw, and coming up very shortly, it will be Paige Pearce against Linda Ochoa-Anderson. Our rules for this, well, normal scoring system for compound archery, but we are shooting just on an 18-meter range, 15 arrows, 5 ends, and it's a cumulative score. Whoever's got the highest score at the end will go through to the semi-finals. Chris, we've talked a lot about these arrows that the archers are using here. They're thinner arrows than they're used to shooting normally indoors.
Yeah, and we've seen that change the kind of dynamic of the match. Dom and Mikey's the lead change was much more volatile than usual. A 2-point lead in the first or second end would normally be enough to win an indoor match, but it's proven not enough here because you can just miss that 10 by such a small margin with these thin shafts.
Well, indeed. Well, our archers look like they're ready. Paige has managed to clear away her dirty washing that we saw out earlier on. Linda hasn't quite managed to clean her windows yet, though. So, but we hope you're ready, ladies. Please make your way to your shooting lines. Paige, you shot the high scoring qualification between the two of you, so it's up to you who shoots first. Are you going to go first or second?
I'll go first.
So Paige will shoot first. It's time for quarterfinal number 3 of Lockdown Knockout Live. So Paige, please take us away. Solid start there from Paige Pearce. So we will switch over to Linda. That looks like an even better arrow. I've got Paige on at a perfect 30 to start things off. A 10 to finish for Linda there. So I've got a 30 place 29, but what I didn't say at the top of the show is that Chris is our arbiter if required. The athletes are going to measure their own arrows and give us their scores when they get down to the targets. But Chris, your initial thoughts on that first end?
Well, critically, I think we're all hoping I'm not required to arbitrate on anything. There's two arrows in that target that we need to have a look at. It's the top one for Paige and the bottom right for Linda. But it's worth noting that I think these are the two first arrows to shoot 10 straight away. So fantastic job, ladies.
Well, a 10, 10, 9. There we go. There's Paige's confirmation, and you were quite right. Linda, what have we got for you?
And I have
29.
10.
So, but you're quite right, Chris, to call that 29 apiece. So if you could retrieve your arrows, please, and make your way back to your shooting line. Chris, as you said, first two archers to start with 10s.
Yeah, Linda's first shot was fantastic, wasn't it? No matter the distance, no matter the type of competition, it's very, very, very nice to see an arrow hit the middle of the target. That is the aim of the game in this sport, after all.
Yeah, we were talking yesterday about the scores going crazy high on the international stage and using these thinner arrows. We're hoping that we were going to have some wayward ones, but we really haven't seen a bad shot throughout the three quarterfinals. Now, hopefully the ladies are back at the shooting line at 29 apiece. It will be Paige to shoot again for the start of N2. Well, there we go. The 6 arrows of 10-2. Before we get into the scores, it's really great that we can see these archers so close. We can see their actions right the way through. And Chris, archery is all about process and repeating the same process over and over again. But perhaps our audience are a little bit confused as to why the athletes are looking at the camera beforehand. Could you explain how they're queuing up to take their shots?
Normally in archery, we have a clock ticking, and it ticks down from 20 seconds per arrow. And as soon as they shoot, that resets to the other archer. Obviously, with this kind of technological solution, ticking clocks would be very, very difficult. So we're just using the switch between the two archers as the indicator of when to start off. I'd like to know how that feels for both of them, but let's get the scores in first, shall we?
We shall indeed. Paige, could you reveal your score?
10-10-9. This first one's just barely off.
Well, very honest there. The first shot going into the 9 ring. And Linda, what about you?
And I have 10-9-9.
Oh, 2 9s then, and a 28 for Linda Ochoa-Anderson. So Paige Pearce just takes the slightest of leads. 58 plays 57 after the first two ends. If you could retrieve your arrows, these. Chris, just two dropping into the 9 there for Linda, just going slightly behind. Could you tell anything in terms of the shooting?
No, absolutely. No, it's very difficult to tell these small margins that make the difference in archery. And let's not forget, these arrows are 5 or 6 millimeters thick. So, you know, the distance it takes to miss is not very much at all. Can I ask these ladies, how does it feel to shoot without a clock ticking? I'm very interested, Paige.
I just told myself that I wanted to shoot it like a normal match, so no letdowns and just make the first one, count. But I think by now we've done it enough that we don't even usually really look at the clock.
Automatic for you too, Linda? Or
Yeah, I think I shoot a little bit slower than Paige, so I'm really used to have someone calling the time for me. And I was wondering, am I gonna be able to let down here? Is because it's a different tournament, but I'm just trying to do my shot.
Well, you're both doing fantastic. Well, I'll tell you what, Chris and I will give you a bit of encouragement and tell you when to go if you like. You're trailing by a single point, Linda, so you will shoot first. It's time for end 3 of Knockdown Lockout Live. So, Linda, off you go. Looks like it's just dropped into the 9, so over to Paige. Good correction there from Linda. That top target has been a good one for Paige. That looks like another 10. It's a little bit of a pull on that one. Looks like it might be on the line. And looks like Paige has finished off with a 10. Ladies, if you'd like to go and retrieve your arrows. Chris, I've got another 28 plays 29 in favour of Paige. What about you?
I wouldn't want to be calling my arrows on this one. It must be very, very difficult to judge those things on the line. I think Paige has hit the line with every single one of her 9 arrows now.
We get a nice look at the decor there in Paige's house behind the target. And she's going to give us her scores. A 10, 10, 9, a 29 again. 3 in a row from Paige and Linda.
10-9-9.
Thank you. Another 28 for Linda Ochoa-Anderson. So another point snuck into the lead for Paige Pearce. If you could retrieve your arrows and make your way back to the shooting line. Chris, you've talked about hitting the lines in this unique tournament, and usually when you hit a line in archery in an international tournament, you get the higher score. But here you're saying if it looks like it's on the line, it's usually the lower score.
it's very difficult to tell from where we are because the quality of the video stream that we're receiving for ourselves and for the spotter are not that good. So it's difficult to kind of judge whereabouts that shaft has hit the target. When you hit the line in archery, you get the highest score. But these arrows are so thin, and you know the margins of error are so small that it's very difficult to judge whether it's broken that black line, and you do get upgraded to the 10. The central 10 ring in this is only 2 centimeters across.
Yeah, you're finding it difficult, but I called the score perfectly in that last end. Paige leads by a couple of points now, so Linda will shoot again. It's time for the fourth end of this quarterfinal. Another low one from Linda. It's an opportunity for Paige here. Another great first arrow. Maybe an opportunity for Linda now. And that looks like a solid 10 to finish. And that looks like it should be a 10. So I've got a 29 plays 29. Chris, are you going to put your neck on the line on this one?
No, I think it's a 28 plays a 29 from Linda. I think Linda's second arrow on the top target will be marked up, and I think Paige's last shot in the bottom right will be marked down. It would be great if the girls could read them out for us so we can tell exactly which target's being scored as what.
Well, they're making their way down to the target as we speak. Looks like Linda is there already. Paige has already done her scores. Just need to move that down and a little bit towards you. A 10-10-9, I think I saw there for Paige.
Let's see if I can show you guys. It's like solid all the way through the line.
Just as I called, Paige, a 29. Chris was trying to mark you down to a 28. I'm sure when we get back to international tournaments, you can pick him up on that. It looked like a 29 for Linda as well.
Yes, I have 10-10-9.
Just as I scored. Well done. If you could make your way back down to the shooting line. So 229 to 116 plays a 114. Chris, when lockdown has finished there in Lausanne, will you be making an appointment at the opticians?
Well, I'd just like to say this competition isn't all about you, Karim. It's about these great archers and having an opportunity to compete.
I'm trying to mark them fairly. That's all that's happening here. Well, Paige is leading by a couple of points, and it's time for the fifth end of quarterfinal number 3. So, Linda, it's down to you to close the gap. Potentially nines from both archers there. That looks like a 10 to me, though. That one looks a little low and right, so potential 28 for Linda. Well, I think a 9 would have been enough, but it looks like Paige has finished with a 10. And ladies, if you can make your way down to the target, we will be coming to you first, Linda, to see what your scores are. Chris, any thoughts at this stage?
Well, a fantastic finish by Paige. That last arrow, satisfying when it hit, straight in the middle and deep in the target as well. Good match from Linda, but I think this one's Paige.
Well, Linda, a 28 to finish up a 10.99. You finish on a 142. Paige, if you could give us your final score as well, please.
Oh, shoot.
Paige, if you could, we've read the 10-10-9. Fabulous stuff. And Paige wins this quarterfinal number 3, 145 to 142. Paige, how does it feel to make it through the quarterfinals here at this lockdown knockout tournament?
Really nerve-wracking. I wasn't expecting. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm just thankful to be competing again.
Yeah, and you talk about the nerves. I mean, how does it compare to standing next to your opponent on the shooting line at an outdoor range?
I mean, it's obviously different because we're in different locations, but I've shot with Linda so many times that I know exactly how challenging of a competitor she is, and Linda's just incredible. So anytime you know you're shooting against her, you're going to have to put up a good score.
Well, congratulations. You're through to the semi-finals. If you could just stay there for us for a second as we flick over to Linda. Linda, no bragging rights in your house. Steve went out in his quarterfinal and you didn't make it through either. But it was great to see you shooting. How did you find it?
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to feel nervous again. I shot 3 qualifications. Apparently, I've been struggling with skinny arrows and small tens. But it was fun. I'm really excited that I got to feel nervous. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, it's great to be back in competition. It's great to see you in competition. And thank you so much for taking part in the event. If you could retrieve your arrows, and ladies, if you could both make it back to the shooting line where we're going to have another chance to have a chat with you. Chris, it was a fabulous competition. Very strange environment, though. One athlete shooting in her kitchen and the other shooting in a garage, but still miles away from each other, even though they're both in the States.
Well, yeah, and it's fantastic shooting as well, no matter the location, no matter the venue. Paige shot a really good match there. She hit the line, the 10 line, a number of times, and some of them were called out, but the majority were called in. She could really shoot a big score in the next round if she tightens that group up just a little bit.
Yeah, a couple of fine margins, wasn't it? Because Linda scored a couple of 9s in a couple of the ends, but they were also very, very close. And, we're relying on the athletes to give us the score.
Yeah, and that's just a construct of the situation we're in. We'd love to have judges there checking the scores, but we can't. And it's a testament to the honesty of the archers that we're able to do this tournament without the judges present.
Well, let's see how that result has affected our draw. Let's have a look at what it looks like now. Paige Pearce through on the right into the semi-finals, and she will take on the winner of the fourth and final quarterfinal between Toya Ellison and Sarah Lopez. We have got a fairly packed out schedule, but as you can see, the fourth quarterfinal comes up tomorrow, 5 p.m. Central European time, between Toya Ellison and Sarah Lopez. Well, ladies, thank you so much for being involved. Chris, have you got any questions for both Linda and Paige?
Yeah, Paige, you're going to face Sarah or Toya in the next round. Do you have a preference to who you compete against?
Honestly, I feel like both of those girls are powerhouses. And with the little arrows, this is such a different game than we're used to, that you have to make perfect shots to be able to hit that small 10 line. So I think either of them is going to give me a run for my money.
Linda, you said you were shooting outdoors. You've come back indoors. Are you going to shoot any more 18 meters, or is it back to the proper range for you?
No, I'm going outside. It's starting today. I don't think. So I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be shooting against Paige. She shot awesome, and I'm sure she's gonna do great the next one.
Well, Linda and Paige, thank you so much for giving us some live sport and a great deal of fun as well.
Thank you, guys, and good
Thank
shooting,
you.
Linda.
And Chris, thanks for your wonderful insight as well. And of course, thanks to all of you for watching. Join us tomorrow, 5 p.m. Central European time, as Toya Ellison takes on Sarah Lopez. Bye for now.